Shut up and sit down.
Hi, I'm Blakey B, and welcome to my review of the Marvel Select Disney Store exclusive Groot figure from Diamond Select Toys. Marvel Select is a line similar to Marvel Legends, however has more of a focus on sculpt and paint application over articulation. Marvel Select is also on a different scale to Legends, being a 7-inch per average figure compared to Marvel Legends' 6-inch per average figure. Groot first appeared in Tales to Astonish issue 13 from 1960 and was created by the man, the legend himself, Stan Lee, and even predates the Fantastic Four and thus the Marvel Universe itself. Groot has only ever made sporadic appearances throughout the decades and wasn't really relevant until 2008, where he was introduced as part of the modern version of Guardians of the Galaxy. Like his fellow Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot has become somewhat of a household name due to the 2014 film adaptation by James Gunn. Groot only comes with one accessory, and that is a diorama piece, like the Rocket Raccoon and Gamora, and this piece does connect to the Rocket and Gamora piece. They do link together via plugs in the back. Be careful, these white plugs are part of the packaging. They're in a clear wallet on the back of the card, so be careful not to throw that away. And it plugs really easy together, and once it's plugged in, it stays together really well as well. So this figure stands at a really tall 10 inches. Due to him being a select figure, he is bigger than the Marvel Legends Groot, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem if you want to fit him in with a Marvel Legends collection, because Groot's size does change from comic to comic. The sculpt that Groot has received, I think, is really neat. I think that the tree trunks that they've used kind of emulates muscle. And I think it makes for a really clean looking Groot. He does have some tree parts coming out at the joints, but it's mostly a solid piece, and I think that actually is quite a good look for Groot. He's not too chaotic. For paint application, it's pretty good. They've done quite a lot of wash work, so you can get all that detail in the arms. There is very little on the head, but it still looks fairly decent. There is very little dry brushing. I think it could have benefited from that, but it is a very well sculpted and well painted figure. For articulation, he has a ball joint in the head, but no neck hinge. However, you do get a good range of motion. He can look down a little bit. He can look down. He can look up a little bit, and he does have a pretty good pivot, which makes sense for Groot because he does have quite a few confused expressions. So having that pivot does help. He has a diaphragm joint, which looks down a little bit and not up too much. However, it does pivot quite well and rotates as it should. He has shoulder hinges which go up to about 90 degrees, and he has full rotations. It is slightly inhibited by the sculpt but it still looks really good. He has bicep swivels on both sides, and he has single hinged elbows as opposed to double jointed elbows. But it's still pretty good. I'd probably, yeah, double jointed elbows would be nice, but with this figure being as big as he is, I'm quite happy having the single jointed. He has a hinge and rotation at the wrists as well. He has T-jointed hips which go out quite impressively, and he can kick forward quite a bit, and he can even bend his leg back a little bit as well. He has thigh rotations and double jointed knees, as well as a ankle hinge and ankle pivot. So he is a very well articulated figure, especially considering that Select's main focus is on paint and sculpt. The Guardians figures seem to be doing a better job at being legends than legends are these days. For your comparisons, here he is alongside the Entertainment Earth 5-pack Groot, and already I think that because this figure is so much thicker and, you know, he does look like the stronger figure. His arms are a lot thicker than this one. This one has quite twiddly, thin arms, and the articulation on the knees is better on here. It's quite funny that this one has single hinged elbows and double jointed knees, but this one has double jointed elbows and single hinged knees. So these figures are equal in their articulation, and a complaint I have about this Groot is similar to the Rocket Raccoon from the 5-pack. His head just pops off, like, really easy. It's quite difficult, you know, when you're posing him to keep it on. It does just pop off all the time. And also, I'm not too keen on this creepy looking face. I know that is how he appears in a lot of comic books, but like I like this more neutral. He can be happy, he can be fight ready. I like this expression because you can get a lot of different poses out of it, whilst this one, he just looks a bit ugly. Also, I don't like the fact that they just reused the movie bath as a comic book version. And finally, here is Groot alongside his other bunch of a-holes, the other Guardians of the Galaxy, the Diamond Select, Gamora, and Rocket that I've reviewed previously, the Titus Wave Star-Lord from Marvel Legends that I have also reviewed recently, and the Drax figure from the Entertainment Earth 5-pack, who is the only one who I've kept in my display. The only figure I think in this lineup that is out of scale is the Gamora, but as I said in her review, it's not by much, and especially when you pose her either kneeling or in an action pose, you know, you can't tell the difference. So my final thoughts is, if you do collect any Marvel figure, you should pick this guy up. He is a brilliant figure. I think Diamond Select are really knocking it out the park with these Guardians figures. I haven't got the Drax or the Star-Lord. Yeah, I probably will be reviewing the Drax very soon. I have a friend who will be lending me him for a review. But yeah, this figure is definitely a pickup for any collector. So, question of the day. Would you like to see a movie with these two, covering their origin story? I think it would be really interesting to find out how Rocket met Groot, and I don't know, would you like to see that in a Guardians film via a flashback, or would you like to have a film dedicated to these two? I would go with the latter, I think. I think there is enough story potential to fill a whole movie with these two. Okay, have a great evening, and adios!